I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're not as good as some. Some were standing in right attention.
Different pass than mine. Mr. Schulte.
Here.
Mr. Loring.
Here.
Mr. DeBoer.
Here.
And here. First look at the agenda for today, April 29, including the Wellness Committee request. I noticed what Chantry mentioned.
Any changes, anything?
Not that I have.
I'll make a motion on the agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion by Schulte, support from DeBoer to approve the agenda as presented today. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the April 29 agenda signify with aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Next, we'll look at our minutes from our last meeting.
Morning, Jerry.
A motion for the minutes.
We have a motion from DeBoer, support from Loring for approval of the April 22 minutes. Any discussion? No discussion, then all those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Right, next, we would look at the minute, or the May schedule. Looking at the 13th and 27th as regular meetings. Anything else we're aware of?
Not that I know of.
May 13th to 27th.
Yep.
Need a motion?
We'll take a motion to set the May schedule.
Motion. Support.
Motion for the May schedule to be meetings on May 13 and May 27. Made by Loring, support from Helmers. Discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor of setting that schedule signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. All right. Next item is 8:50. I now have 8:50. We have scheduled for 8:50 the fiscal year 24-25 budget amendment public hearing. Consider approval of resolution 44. I would first open the public hearing, asking if we received any written comments concerning the budget.
I have not received any.
Is there anyone present that would like to comment at the public hearing for the budget amendment? As was printed, the explanation is included.
It is.
Approval of this budget amendment would affect the approval of consideration of claims later. Any further discussion amongst the board? Close the public hearing and consider resolution number 44. Is there interest in a motion?
I'll make a motion, resolution 44.
Support. We have a motion for approval from Mr. Schulte, support from Mr. Helmers. Any discussion concerning resolution number 44? Hearing none. Mr. Schulte, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Helmers? Aye. Mr. DeBoer?
Aye.
Mr. Loring?
Aye.
I vote aye. We have 7 minutes. Do we want to look at or discuss vendor fee during RAGBRAI? What are we going to discuss? Do either of you have something specific you would like to share with the board?
If you want, I can give you guys a copy of the agreement that,
With Primgar?
May City.
You've got one, May City, okay.
Yep.
Would you mind?
so by all means, if you have that, if you want an email copy, just let me know and I can email that to whoever. But, May City just decided on a flat $250 fee for any for-profit entity. And we also decided if there is a tie to the city of May City, so like a church group or 4-H group that has kids in May City or whatever the case may be, for a nonprofit, then we would have waived the fee for them, just because they support our community, we'd like to support them, so. And that was basically it. I know Primgar has a little bit different scenario. Actually, every town has something a little bit different. So, but we decided we don't need to make money off of a nonprofit because they're supporting our kids and stuff, so that was our decision. We will charge them $100 though if they don't clean up after themselves.
Is that all?
That's it. That's it.
You guys are a lot nicer than we were.
I suppose. Have you guys had any inquiries about in-the-country vendors?
Not that I've heard of.
Have you?
No, but I'm curious if somebody, wants to put a lemonade stand on their own property, are you guys gonna charge them, or is the county gonna charge them for doing their own thing on their own property? Or how's that enforced, how's that work?
Well, that was my big concern was, is this gonna become a county courthouse monitoring? Since May City doesn't have their own clerk and everything else. If May City's looking to do the work and it's going through you guys, then I personally don't see an issue with it. But now it becomes the enforcement thing. If I pay $250, I show up and there's no room because of, where are the hiccups with that? But honestly, unless it's a liquor license, you guys aren't monitoring, or we as a county aren't monitoring anything with it. So yeah, that's my big concern with the fee is how do we monitor it? How do we maintain accountability of it? And do we as a county, as the courthouse, the auditor's office want to take on that burden of processing applications and enforcement and everything else? Yeah, May City internal, if you guys are planning how you want to do it, everything,
Boy, it'd be pretty hard for us to monitor that.
you had people inquire about stopping in Lake City as a vendor?
Yep, we got, let's see, we have 3 somewhat local vendors, I guess. One's from Sibley here, one's from Mocheton, I think. I don't know where the third one's from, to be honest with you. I just heard about it from one of the co-chair. So yeah, we have 3 for sure, local vendors that want to come. And then we have several that are talking about coming from outside the local area, whether it be Des Moines or somewhere in Iowa. I'm pretty sure everybody's from Iowa that has inquired so far.
And Primgar is charging $350 for, outside of their county. So if we're $100 cheaper, that may draw vendors a little further north to May City. And there'll be less competition in May City amongst the vendors than Primgar.
Last time Rag came through in 2014, we had 9 paid vendors at that time, and we had, I believe, 3 local nonprofits that came.
I prefer Primgar's approach with a break for those related or in the county versus outside the county. I may be wrong, but I have a feeling if Sibley were to do this, there wouldn't be much appetite for them charging other entities within the county to take on an effort like this. And I'm afraid we start this here, I don't know why they wouldn't in the future if it becomes available. So that's of concern. Yeah, to some extent, we're a free market society. I have a little bit of a problem trying to do too much protectionism, but I get it.
Yeah, my only concern too, Jason.
I don't know if as big as May City is, I kind of like their approach. Are you gonna have any trouble finding people to wait?
No, actually, we've had both Mocheton and Melvin Fire Departments have reached out and said if we need help, as well as several locals that, if you guys need help, just let us know what you need help for. So, and we're almost at a full roster on the fire department, which is like the first time in 15 years or something like that. So, we actually got a pretty good group of guys right now. So I'm not too concerned about help, to be honest with you.
Good.
So, for the first time in a long time.
Would you be willing to waive the fee for in-county? And here's, because you guys brought up, if May City's whatever wanted to go 2 days of old and raise money, now Mocheton can charge you a vendor fee. Whereas if in-county, no fee, but outside of county, 250. We're kind of taking away that future potential of, hey, we're going to the county fair, we're gonna, or everything like that. So just a thought on that one.
Yeah, I can talk to the committee and see what they have to say.
Sorry to swing away from this, but it is 8:58. We have that identified for consider approval of resolution number 45, 24-25 compensation schedule for elected officials. This reflects the process we put in place without the compensation board and the decisions that or steps we had previously taken. Interest in approval of resolution number 45, gentlemen?
I make the motion to approve resolution 45.
Second.
We have a motion by Helmer, support from Loring for approval of resolution 45. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Helmers, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Loring?
Aye.
Mr. Schulte?
Aye.
Mr. DeBoer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. We now have 9 o'clock. We would have identified a fiscal year 25-26 county budget public hearing. Open the public hearing and ask if we've received anything in writing.
I have not received anything.
Anyone like to take the opportunity to make a comment at the public hearing for the budget? Hearing none, we would close the public hearing. Discussion amongst the board, or would be interested in approval of resolution 46?
Make a motion to approve 46.
Second.
Motion from Schulte, support from Loring for approval of resolution number 46, the 24-25 adoption of Osceola County 25-26 budgets and tax levies. Any discussion on resolution 46? Hearing none. Mr. Schulte, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Loring?
Aye.
Mr. Helmers?
Aye.
Mr. DeBoer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. We return to the discuss, consider vendor fee during RAGBRAI.
Or what about half rate or something?
Well, I mean, you said as a business, you have to pay a fee to have a booth at City Hall, right? So the towns are already charging,
Oh,
you know,
I mentioned that at
for
the town
businesses.
celebrations. I was.
So, you know, if that's the case, I mean, you're already gonna waive the fee for nonprofit, so that kinda, and I don't know about good old summertime, if there's a vendor fee or not, but I'd be willing to bet there probably is. You know, so if we're already doing that from community to community,
You know, as a business owner, I have zero problem paying for, because I am for profit. So I have zero problem paying a fee to be at, you know, any vendor fair type event or anything like that. So, and I haven't heard anybody balk at the $250.
I heard you mention May City being unincorporated, that you really have the authority to be the recipient of this or place the stipulations,
that's the thing, technically it's you guys' decision, you know.
which would
if
then
they
be
have a problem.
countywide for not just May City, but something that would likely be utilized elsewhere in the future.
The fair would be the only other big one I can think of, as of now, you know.
And they've got their own board.
Unless Cloverdale's gonna have a party
Around,
Yeah.
around or.
yeah. So this is one of those odd
Mhm.
things. Or we can just waive the fees and you can ask for $650,000 for a new fire truck.
That would be awesome.
Whatever you guys think would be
I'm
better.
100% for that, actually.
You could talk them into that?
I guess I'm just, my line of thinking is, does this automatically go to the May City Fire Department? Or is it a county effort that when the fees come in, we would then determine where they get dispersed?
And that, once again, that's you guys' decision. I know the big concern with the May City Fire Department is alcohol, other vendors. So, you know, obviously I'll leave it up to you, but if you're a food vendor or a shirt vendor, you're not taking any money away from May City Fire Department, you're actually bringing
Right.
more people in. So if it's a liquor license that you guys approve, I would say that fee goes to the May City Fire Department. All the other fees for food and everything else, that's county money. I mean, I don't know if you agree with that or not, but
You mean in town May City? Or out of town May City?
I'm talking about, so anything within your buffer that's selling alcohol, because if they can't deny
Right.
them,
Yep, yep, yep,
then
yep.
those fees go to the May City Fire Department as a donation.
Yep.
So you at least get some money back on that. Everyone else out there doing vendor things are helping you because there's more stuff for people to stop in. So they're not taking money away from your department. So all those fees don't necessarily need to go to the May City Fire Department. That can come to county.
I'd like to see that all stay with the May City Fire Department.
Me too.
And-
Not being selfish about the fire department, but at the same point in time, I'm guessing the county's not gonna have people, 20 people there to help us facilitate the events.
And that's why I'm asking you, because you guys are the ones that are.
And we're doing all the work.
Yeah,
We're taking care of the garbage, we're taking care of the porta potties, et cetera, et cetera.
I guess my line of thinking is if the county controls and then releases the fees that are associated with participating, if all we have is local vendors to pay $250 to participate in May City for one day for Ragbri versus O'Cheaton's Days of Old or the other ones, I would more be in favor of saying that no, those fees are going to be in line with what they do at other community celebrations, 50 to 75. I'm not sure what they are right now, and disperse some of that back to our locals before the rest goes to May City. If we have that option, I can see supporting this. If not, I'm more hesitant.
I would rather see May City take all the responsibility. I don't want any responsibility for it.
And that's where we're in an odd way, because we don't have a city government, you know? So they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have, you know, the normal folk like Sibley would have, you know? So that's where it becomes one of those odd things.
And yeah, I don't know that there is going to be a lot of policing of this, so I guess that would be more of a local effort. It's my thought. I don't know that we have or intend to dedicate someone to making sure everyone follows this, or I wouldn't know where we place it. Whoever supervisor district it is, I suppose. But thinking down the road, Ragbri comes through again, and O'Cheaton does a $50 vendor fee in their community. Well, now we're tied to $250 on the outskirts of O'Cheaton. That landowner just outside is at a disadvantage too. So I don't know, I'm just trying to think long term in a bigger picture than just let's do something for this
But
situation.
once again, you know, if they're outside of O'Cheaton, just like outside of May City, if they're not applying for a liquor license, we have no oversight. I mean, I can go sell whatever I want on the side of 59 every Saturday, and you guys will have no idea unless you pass by. You know, so that's where we're talking about an in-town versus a out-of-town type thing.
Couldn't we just make this a one-time thing that every time they want to do something, they have to come to the board?
Ragbri is one of those odd ones.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that happens often. The last time was what, 11?
11 was the last time I came to
You
May
know,
City.
so this is kind of a special case, and I don't know, I mean, because technically, if they come through O'Cheaton, they don't even need to talk to you guys. You know, and I mean, we're not talking about the entire county right now, we're really just talking about May City, because you guys are the ones that are willing to do the work to, get
I don't know where you run into this anyplace else.
I don't either.
Have you heard anything else doing a liquor license? I have not gotten any
No,
notification
and they've got their
from
own board.
the
There's
state.
talks that there's gonna be a beer tent at the barn just needs a business corner. But I haven't heard who it is or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I haven't got notification yet from the state on that. Because usually I get notification, yeah. And then kind of waiting for, like yours, waiting for your dram shot before the board can approve it. But I'm not saying they don't have time to do that yet, but as of now, I have not gotten any notification yet, so.
We could what if this to death. We need a motion for this. I make a motion, we just let May City with this vendor agreement go if we need a motion.
And I support that.
We have a motion for approval of the presented Ragbri May City vendor agreement. Motion by Helmers, support from Schulte. Further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor of approval signify with aye. Those opposed, same sign. Aye. All right. Congratulations. Next we
You don't need
have,
anything from me or anything, right?
Not right now, no.
Okay, and you're working on your dram shop then?
Supposedly.
Okay. I just have a notes on my calendar
Yeah,
so I don't
no,
forget, so we don't
I just
run
pinged
short.
the insurance lady yesterday.
Okay.
And she's waiting to hear back, so
Okay.
I'm gonna ping them. I got a note in my calendar every other day. I'm gonna annoy the hell out of them.
Well, between you and I with our
Oh, you're
notes, maybe we'll be
capable.
okay.
You're good at that, Nick.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, guys.
We are looking at considering approval of April 1st, 2025 jail remodel pay application. Now I can be stubborn and a stickler again.
Give me a call, John, or
He is available by phone if we want him.
you guys had that last week. Do you have it? Did you guys keep that pay app from last week?
I questioned it last month when the architect fees on line items that showed 100% paid went up.
Leroy, yours is right there. A white and blue. That's this pay app that we're talking about. Yep, that there. Yep. You guys had that
I
last.
agree with you on it, please.
We had nearly a month and a half's worth of discussion whether to even accept the contract, and I don't recall it ever being pointed out to us that, well, the architect fees are gonna go up if we accept the higher bid amount. And I didn't go back to January, but February's pay app showed the same architect fee structure and max contract amount as what had always been. And then in March, they jumped, and we approved them because he pointed out that it was in the contract, that it's a percentage of the bid. So we don't have any in this one, but we still reflect those higher amounts. I'm struggling with that. That doesn't directly impact this pay app, but the architect was here yesterday. I saw John and the architect, and they're both seeming content and finding it reasonable that it would reflect the bid amounts or a percentage of the bid amounts. And maybe it's just a point to expect better communication from him, but when it wasn't brought up during the consideration of the bids, and then as much as 2 months after accepting them, or almost 2 months after accepting them, they're showing the same section 1 through 4 showed 100% paid in February.